Hi beautiful people, welcome back to another exciting video. Today we're checking out this video from Sky News Australia and it's titled Joe Rogan brutally rejects Kamala Harris list of demand to appear on his podcast. What's going on here? Why would Joe Rogan reject Kamala Harris? Even if he's not a Kamala Harris supporter, at least he should at least allow her on his podcast. But let's find out why, the reason behind his decision. Before we dive into the video, I'm Oge. Welcome to the channel. If it's the first time, it's so good to have you here. Do well to like, share, subscribe, turn on post notification bell. Let's quickly see this together.
The world's biggest podcast host, Joe Rogan, has exposed a list of Kamala Harris's demands in order to appear on his show. Following the hugely successful podcast interview between Joe Rogan and Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump, which was viewed 38 million times and counting, there have been calls for Kamala Harris to sit down with Joe Rogan in the same long-form interview style. Nothing has been locked in, but Joe Rogan released a statement on X outlining communication between him and the Harris camp with a list of their requests for the interview. He said, "Also, for the record, the Harris campaign has not passed on doing the podcast. They offered a date for Tuesday, but I would have had to travel to her and they only wanted to do an hour. I strongly feel the best way to do it is in the studio in Austin. My sincere wish is to just have a nice conversation and get to know her as a human being. I really hope we can make it happen." This statement attracted a huge response from online commentators, with Charlie Kirk saying, "America deserves 3 hours with Kamala and Joe Rogan unscripted. Hope it happens and she stops trying to dictate the terms. You have a format, it works. She should stop trying to change it, just like America." And this commentator doubled down, saying, "In studio is the only way. Let the whole world see the real Kamala Harris. What are they scared of?" The request to change the normal Joe Rogan Experience podcast interview terms comes after Donald Trump slammed his opponent, saying she wouldn't be able to make it through a 3-hour-long conversation. And whilst Kamala Harris's camp tries to negotiate terms with Rogan, Vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance has seized on the publicity opportunity and will appear on the #1 podcast. Outspoken entrepreneur Andrew Yang reacted to the news, saying, "Now that J.D. Vance is going on Joe Rogan, it's all the more important that Kamala Harris also does so." Kamala Harris's demands come after she has suffered through weeks of gaffe-ridden appearances, reveals Sky News host Kel Richards.
This is why she's such an appalling candidate. She's the worst candidate since Hillary Clinton, and we know what happened to her. So she's just she cannot very quickly off the top of her head think of a clever way or an appropriate way or a tactically good way to react. So she did this really stupid thing of go to the rally down the street, you don't belong in my rally if you want to say Jesus. I mean, that's, as you say, America is a far more religious country than Australia.
It is.
The vast majority of them are Baptists. They don't want to hear a candidate saying that. She's done herself a lot of damage. And then the idea that you can repair it by going to church tells you that Kamala may be Christian on a Tuesday but not on a Wednesday, or maybe she's Christian at 3 o'clock but not at 4 o'clock. And that's exactly the problem. She's this changeable, could be anything, chameleon, don't know what she believes, don't know who she is candidate. And she's underlined that. Yes, I'm really like that. I'm really this very uncertain person and you'll never know who I really am or what I really believe. This is her doing self-damage. She's had a really bad week. And at the end of the week, she's just making it worse.
Sky News host Rowan Dean agrees, saying the Kamala Harris campaign has been a disaster.
But Rita, it is looking like Donald Trump will win. That is certainly where things are heading at the moment. But the key thing is that the Kamala Harris campaign really has been a disaster. However you look at it, she is just a woeful candidate. Put all politics aside, just as a performing candidate, she is hopeless, I would say.
Why is everybody thinking she's the worst candidate? Why? I mean, I would love Kamala Harris supporters to actually come out to actually clear the air, because I feel like she has a reason. Now, just to be neutral, right? I'm not an American, okay? So I did not vote. I'm just saying on a neutral ground. Kamala Harris is a big name. Well, but for Donald Trump to actually go to the because I feel like the studio is usually like the best place to actually have interviews like that. But for her to actually send her list, like she's just going to do 1 hour studio time, 1 hour interview, it has to be in her location, so Joe Rogan has to travel probably with his team, you know, so it's not very convenient for him. He actually wanted to actually do the show. He actually wanted to do an interview with her just to get to know her. And I mean, it's obvious that Joe Rogan is a Trump supporter, right? Even though he tried not to tarnish her, like even when Trump was saying she's never going to come, she's not going to come to sit with you for 3 hours, no way. But he was still trying to be neutral. Like, I really love to know, I really love to interview her, you know, talk to her. Joe Rogan show is like one of the biggest shows in America, right? So he really is interested in actually getting to know her, sitting with her for about an hour to just get to understand her and her dynamics. But anyway, I'd love you guys to actually let's know, what do you think could be her reason? Do you think because she had a stressful week, that was just a way for her to just like, you know, just shy away from the interview? Because I'm sure deep down within her, since everybody wants her to be on the show, everybody wants her to sit with Joe Rogan to have a conversation. If JD Vance could actually go, then Kamala Harris should go too, right? I mean it's over, elections are over and all of that, but I saw this video and then I was like, okay, I was very curious to actually know why. I didn't even read correctly. The title actually says that Joe Rogan brutally rejects Kamala Harris' list of demands. That means for her to actually come, she actually sent a list that this is the only way I'm going to do an interview with you guys. Like, it has to be on my terms, right? But what would you guys say about such leadership? A lot of people never thought that, you know, she was a good candidate anyway. But I feel like if she had just obliged, you know, but I also want to ask that, what do you think do you think it would have turned out well? I feel like, yes, but I feel like it would have been okay, because Joe Rogan is not, he really wants to know her. He's not being biased, of course. He wants to know her, have a conversation with her. And I feel like she going for that show would have just cleared a lot of, you know, a lot of air. But anyway, I'd love to know what you guys think about that particular situation. Do you think she should have actually gone for the interview, for the show, for the conversation, the interview with Joe Rogan? Do you think it was a bad move on her side? What are your thoughts concerning this particular conversation? Please leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. Do well to like this video if you enjoyed it, share with your friends and family, and subscribe if you haven't. Turn your post notification bell, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.